Listen, my friend. Poor security man at this gate. Rich family laughed at him. Pick that money. Get lost, gate boy. 25 years later. Same gate. Same man. But now he controls the gate. They came back to beg him to enter. My friend, karma does not forget. My friend, if you believe karma is real, subscribe now. Samuel stood at the tall black gate of the rich Okafor house. Night had covered Lagos. The street was quiet. Only rain spoke. Water fell hard from the sky. It hit the gate. It hit the road. It hit Samuel's body. Samuel was 35 years old. He wore a simple security uniform. It was clean but old. The cloth was thin. The color had faded. His shoes were torn. Water entered them. His feet felt cold, but he did not complain. He had been on duty since evening. His legs were tired. His back hurt. Still, he stood straight. Samuel believed in respect. He believed a gate must be guarded well, even if the owner showed no care. A bright light came from the road. A big car turned into the street. Samuel became alert at once. He wiped rain from his face. He held his torch tight. The car stopped at the gate. Samuel ran forward. He wanted to open the gate fast, but the lock was stiff. Rain had spoiled it. He tried once. The gate did not move. He tried again. It delayed a little. Inside the car sat the Okafor family. Mr. Okafor sat at the back. His face was hard. His eyes were full of pride. Mrs. Okafor sat beside him. She looked angry as always. David sat in front. He was young. He was spoiled. Mr. Okafor rolled down the window. Rain touched his hand. His voice came out loud. "Are you blind?" he shouted. "Can't you open small gate?" Samuel felt heat in his chest. His heart beat fast, but he bowed his head. "Sorry, sir," he said softly. David laughed. His laugh was sharp. He looked at Samuel with mockery. "This useless man is too slow," David said. "Even my dog is faster." The words cut deep. Samuel felt pain, but he stayed quiet. Mrs. Okafor leaned forward. She pointed her finger. "People like you," she said, "are the reason this country is suffering." Samuel's hands shook. His eyes became wet. Still, he forced the gate open. The gate finally moved. It opened wide. The car drove inside. Samuel thought it was over. But the car stopped again. Mr. Okafor stepped halfway out. He took some small money. He threw it on the wet ground. "Take this," he said. "Gate boy, that is your level. Pick it from the sand." The car moved again. The gate closed behind it. Samuel stood still. Rain washed his face. Tears mixed with rain. He looked at the money. It was dirty. It was wet. But it was food. If this story of Samuel touched your heart, and you believe every poor man has value, please subscribe to this channel now. Slowly, he bent down. His back felt heavy. His heart felt heavier. He picked the money. His hand shook. People passed by. No one stopped. No one cared. Samuel returned to his small guard place. He stood alone, cold, wet, silent. That night, something broke inside him. Not his body, his heart. He looked at the gate again. He had guarded it with honor, but it gave him shame. In a low voice, he spoke. "I am not useless," he said. "I am poor, but I am not empty." The rain kept falling. The rich house slept in comfort. Outside, a poor man stood awake, quiet, hurt, but alive inside. Samuel stayed at the gate till morning. The rain stopped slowly. The sky became quiet. Cold air touched his skin. His body was weak, but his mind was awake. When his duty ended, he walked home. His house was far. He used small streets. Mud and water covered the road. Samuel lived in a one-room house. The walls were weak. The roof had small holes. Inside was dark. He opened the door slowly. The room smelled old. There was one bed, one chair, one small table. A lantern sat on the floor. An old radio rested beside it. Samuel removed his wet shoes. He placed them near the wall. He sat on the bed. His legs shook from tiredness. He took the small money from his pocket. He looked at it for long, not with joy, with pain. "This money," he said softly, "has tears on it." He kept the money inside a small tin. The tin stayed under his bed. It was his savings. Every coin mattered. Samuel cooked nothing. There was no food to cook. He mixed gari with water. No sugar, no milk. He drank slowly. His stomach stayed half empty. After eating, he lay on the bed, but sleep did not come. The words at the gate played in his head. Useless man. Gate boy. That is your level. His chest felt tight. He turned to the wall. God, he whispered. Did you see me tonight? Silence answered him. Later. Samuel sat up. He lit the lantern. The small flame danced. From under the bed, he pulled out old books. The covers were torn. The pages were yellow. One book was English. One was about safety work. One was about machines. Samuel opened the English book. He read slowly. He read aloud sometimes. He corrected himself. Words gave him peace. Learning gave him hope. At night, while others slept, Samuel learned. Morning came again. Samuel washed his face. He wore his uniform. He tied his shoes tight. He returned to the gate. Days passed. Weeks passed. Years passed. Samuel stayed at the same gate. His hair became thin. Lines came on his face. David grew taller. His voice became deep, but his mouth stayed sharp. Gate boy. David still said, open fast. Mrs. Okafor still shouted. She spoke to visitors loudly. Don't mind him, she said. He is just a poor security man. Visitors laughed. Samuel stayed quiet. One afternoon, a man came. He wore simple clothes. He spoke good English. Samuel opened the gate. The man asked a question. Samuel answered softly. His English was clear. His words were right. The man stopped. He looked back. You speak well, he said. You are sharp. Samuel bowed his head. Thank you, sir, he replied. The man smiled. My brother, he said. You are too smart to die at a gate. The words entered Samuel's heart. They burned like fire. That night, Samuel could not sleep. A new thought stayed with him. Maybe he was more. Maybe this gate was not his end. He opened his tin again. He added one small coin, and for the first time, he smiled alone in the dark. Samuel's life moved in silence. Every day looked the same. Morning, gate, night. But inside him, things were changing. He woke before the sun. He washed with cold water. He prayed softly. Then he wore his uniform. Before work, he visited a small shop. He sent money to his mother. She was sick. She lived far in the village. The money was small, but it came with love. Samuel walked to work. He reached the gate early. He checked the lock. He cleaned the area. People passed him. Big cars. Nice clothes. No one looked at him. Samuel did not mind. He had learned patience. At work, the insults continued. David grew older, but his words stayed cruel. Gate boy, he said one day. Don't sleep. Mrs. Okafor laughed. She spoke to visitors. Don't mind him, she said. These people don't think. Samuel heard everything. He said nothing. At night, after duty, Samuel returned home tired. But he did not rest. He lit his candle. He opened his books. He read about safety. He read about rules. He read about machines. He read slowly. He read with care. Sometimes, his eyes closed. He washed his face. Then he continued. One night, rain fell again. The lantern shook. Samuel whispered, one day this gate will see my true value. He closed his eyes. God, please help me. On Sundays, Samuel went to church. He sat at the back. He listened well. After church, he spoke to people. He asked questions. He listened more than he spoke. He learned about work. He learned about life. One man spoke about business. Another spoke about security jobs. Samuel listened like a child. At home, he saved every coin. He did not waste money. No drinks. No fun. The tin under his bed grew heavy. One day, a visitor came again. He wore clean shoes. He spoke calm words. Samuel opened the gate. The man asked for direction. Samuel answered well. He used correct words. The man smiled. You have good sense, he said. Samuel nodded. Do you read? The man asked. Yes, sir, Samuel replied. The man laughed softly. That is good, he said. Then he added, people at gates see many things. Right now, Samuel is still standing at the gate. His pain is not over yet. Please subscribe and stay with this story till the end. Samuel remembered those words. That night, Samuel thought deeply. He thought of the gate. He thought of power. He thought of people who stand and people who pass. He opened a newspaper. He read about companies. He read about guards. A new idea formed. Security was not just standing. It was planning. It was thinking. Samuel smiled again. Small, but sure. The gate still held him, but his mind was already walking free. Samuel began to change his habits. Not outside. Inside. At the gate, he watched everything. He watched how people walked. He watched how cars stopped. He watched how guards talked. He noticed small things. Bad lighting. Open corners. Blind spots. He kept all in his mind. Other guards laughed at him. They saw his books. "Bookman," they called him. "You think too much." Samuel smiled softly. He said nothing. At home, he used old paper. He drew lines with pencil. He drew gates. He drew fences. He drew guard paths. He erased many times. He tried again. He did not know why. But his heart felt calm. One night, the radio spoke loud. There was news of robbery. There was news of fear. Samuel listened closely. "People will need safety," he said. "This work will grow." He saved harder. He walked instead of riding. He ate less. Sometimes hunger came strong. He drank water. He waited. His mother became very sick. The message came from the village. Samuel sat on his bed. His eyes closed. "I will not fail you," he whispered. He sent money again. The tin became lighter, but his heart stayed firm. At work, one evening, a man came late. The man looked nervous. He looked left. He looked right. Samuel felt danger. His chest warned him. He asked simple questions. The man gave weak answers. Samuel delayed the gate. He called inside. Later, the truth came out. The man was fake. People talked. They pointed at Samuel. "That guard is sharp," they said. Mr. Okafor shouted that day, but not at Samuel. Samuel felt something new. Respect. That night, he bought one book. It was about business. The words were hard, but he tried. He read one page again and again. "Start small," the book said. Samuel nodded slowly. Weeks passed. Months passed. The tin grew heavy again. Samuel dreamed at night. Not of big cars, not of loud power, but of order, of control, of clean work. He wanted to build something right. One Sunday, the pastor spoke. "God lifts the quiet man," he said. Samuel felt the words inside him. That night, he wrote on paper. A name. He crossed it. He wrote again. He smiled in the dark. "I will build a security company," he whispered. He folded the paper. He hid it well. Outside, the gate stood tall, strong, cold. Inside Samuel, a future stood taller. He slept that night, deep, without fear. The struggle was not over, but the road was now clear. Time did not stop for Samuel. It moved slowly, then fast. He left the Okafor gate one early morning. No farewell, no thanks. The gate stayed behind, but the lesson stayed with him. Samuel took small security jobs. Some were day work, some were night work. He guarded shops. He guarded fuel stations. He guarded quiet offices. The pay was not much, but people spoke to him with respect. That respect changed him. He watched how places worked. He watched how guards failed. He watched where danger came from. He learned every day. Samuel saved money again. Slowly, carefully. He did not waste one coin. Years passed. His hair began to turn gray. Lines came to his face, but his eyes stayed sharp. One evening, Samuel sat alone in his room. He looked at his tin box. It was full again. Not rich, but ready. That night, he made a choice. A brave one. He registered a small security company. It was tiny, very tiny. No office, no workers. Only him. He bought 2 clean uniforms. He printed a small paper sign. He pinned it to his wall. The first job came late. One small house. Samuel did the work himself. He stood guard. He wrote reports. He checked lights. He slept little. He worked hard. The client felt safe. The client told another person. Slowly, more work came. Samuel hired one guard, then another. He trained them himself. He spoke to them kindly. "You are important," he told them. "Never forget that." The guards respected him. The company grew. Not fast, but firm. Years moved again. Samuel opened a small office, then a better one. More guards joined. Samuel paid them fair, always on time. By the time Samuel turned 60, His company was known in Lagos. Estates trusted him. Businesses called him first. His office was modern now. Glass walls, clean floors. The name outside was clear. Samsek Security and Logistics. Samuel wore simple suits, clean shoes. His walk was slow, but confident. One afternoon, news moved through the city. The Okafor family had fallen. Bad business deals, debt, illness. Their big house was sold. Their cars were gone. Life became hard. Mr. Okafor lost his loud voice. Pride left him. Mrs. Okafor spoke softly now. David grew older. Life had taught him shame. They needed a new place. A safe place. They heard of a fine estate. Strong gates. Serious security. To live there, approval was needed. From one company, Samsek. They did not know the owner. They dressed neat. They gathered papers. They drove toward the estate. The sun burned hot. Cars passed fast. They stopped at the gate. The gate was tall, black, strong. And the past waited there, quiet, patient, ready to speak. The Okafor family sat in their old car. The engine made weak sound. The air inside was hot. They stopped in front of the estate gate. The gate was tall, black, strong. Two young security guards stood there. Their uniforms were clean. Their boots shined. "Good afternoon, sir," one guard said. "Who are you looking for?" Mr. Okafor cleared his throat. His voice was not loud anymore. "We are here to ask about a house," he said, "and maybe work." The guard nodded. He checked a list on his tablet. "No one enters without approval," he said. "From our company owner." Mr. Okafor forced a smile. "Can we wait?" he asked. The guard pointed to a small shade. "Please wait there," he said. The Okafors moved aside. They stood under the shade. The sun burned hard. Cars came. Cars went. People tapped cards. The gate opened. The gate closed. Each time, the Okafors watched. No one noticed them. Mrs. Okafor wiped sweat from her face. She stayed quiet. David looked at the ground. He said nothing. Minutes passed. Then hours. Mr. Okafor's legs hurt. His back felt weak. "This place is strict," he said softly. No one answered him. Then a black SUV arrived. Slow, silent. The guards stood straight at once. They saluted. "Good afternoon, sir," they said together. The car stopped. The door opened. A man stepped out. He wore a clean suit. Simple. Well pressed. His hair was gray. His face was calm. He held a small walking stick. Not for show, for balance. An ID card hung on his chest. The Okafors looked up. The man paused. He looked at the gate. Then he turned. His eyes met theirs. He stayed quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. "Mr. Okafor," he said slowly. Mr. Okafor froze. "Madam," the man said. Mrs. Okafor's mouth opened. No sound came out. "And David," the man added. David lifted his head. His eyes went wide. "Is that?" David whispered. "Our old gate man." The guards looked confused. Mr. Okafor stepped forward. His hands shook. "Samuel," he asked. The man nodded. "Yes," he said. "It is me." Silence fell. The sound of cars faded. Only the gate stood between them. Samuel looked at the gate again. The same height. The same strength. Memories passed his eyes. Rain. Insults. Coins in sand. He looked back at them. Life had changed all of them. Mr. Okafor bent his head. Mrs. Okafor held her bag tight. David swallowed hard. Samuel spoke calmly. "You are here to enter," he said. No anger, no smile, just truth. "And I," he added, "hold the key." The gate stayed closed, waiting. The sun stood high above the gate. Heat filled the air. Samuel stood calm. The Okafors stood tense. No one spoke for a moment. Cars passed behind Samuel. The gate opened for them, then closed again. Each sound felt loud. Mr. Okafor cleared his throat. He tried to smile. It did not look right. "Samuel," he said. "My good man." The words felt weak. "We have not seen you for long." Mr. Okafor continued. "We were young then." Samuel listened. His face stayed still. Mrs. Okafor stepped forward. Her voice shook. "Please," she said. "We are only asking for help." David stayed back. His eyes stayed low. Samuel looked at the gate again. The iron bars were thick, strong. He remembered rain on his face, cold shoes, Coins on sand. He remembered silence. He turned back slowly. That night, Samuel said, "You were inside. You were dry. You were laughing. I was outside. I was cold." Mr. Okafor swallowed hard. Samuel continued, "I opened your gate every day. I kept danger away, but you saw me as nothing." The words were calm, but heavy. Mrs. Okafor's eyes filled with tears. "We did not know," she said. Samuel shook his head slowly. "You knew," he said. "You just did not care." David stepped forward. His hands shook. "I was a child," he said. "I spoke wrong." Samuel looked at him. Long. Quiet. "Words grow," Samuel said. "They grow with time." David bowed his head. "I am sorry," he said. Samuel waited. He did not rush. He watched them stand, under the sun, outside the gate, just like he once did. Mr. Okafor's legs trembled. "Samuel," he said, "we have lost everything. Our house is gone. Our work is gone. We only want a place to stay." Samuel listened. He remembered his small room, his empty nights. He remembered learning by candlelight. He remembered hunger. "You want to enter?" Samuel said softly. "Yes." Mr. Okafor replied. Samuel nodded once. "But before that," he said, "there is something you must do." The Okafors looked at him. Samuel turned to the guards. "You may listen," he said. The guards stood still. Samuel faced the Okafors again. "At your gate," he said. "You broke my heart. At my gate. You must speak the truth." Mrs. Okafor fell to her knees. "I am sorry," she cried. Her voice broke. Mr. Okafor lowered himself. Slow, painful. "I am sorry," he said. His pride fell with the words. David knelt last. "I mocked you," he said. "I was wrong." Samuel watched them, not with joy, not with anger, but with full memory. The gate stayed closed, waiting. The guards kept looking. They did not talk. They did not move. They saw the family standing outside. They saw them look weak. Samuel stood near the gate. He stood straight. He stayed calm. He looked at Mr. Okafor. The man was old now. His hands shook. He looked at Mrs. Okafor. Her face was tired. Her eyes were wet. He looked at David. The boy was now a man. His head stayed down. Samuel remembered the past. Rain falling. Cold night. Dirty money. Slowly, Samuel lifted his hand. "Stand up," he said. The Okafors stood up slowly. Their legs felt weak. Samuel spoke again. His voice was soft. "I did not plan this," he said. "I just worked. I did my job." Mr. Okafor wiped his face. Samuel pointed at the gate. "At your gate," he said. "I stood many nights. I opened this kind of gate." "You laughed." Mrs. Okafor began to cry. "We were bad," she said. Samuel nodded. "Yes," he replied. David stepped forward. His voice was low. "I called you names," David said. "I laughed at you. I am sorry." Samuel looked at him. He stayed quiet. Then he spoke. "Those words hurt me," he said. "They stayed in my heart." David nodded. "I know," he said. Samuel took a breath. "I am not here to fight," he said. "I am here to choose." The guards listened. Samuel turned to them. "Open the gate," he said. The guards moved fast. The gate made noise. Big noise. It opened slowly. The Okafors looked inside. Samuel raised his hand again. "Listen," he said. "You can enter, but you will live simple. You will respect people. You will not shout." Mr. Okafor bowed his head. "Yes," he said. The family walked inside. Quiet. Slow. Samuel stayed outside for a moment. He touched the gate. Cold iron. He closed his eyes. He remembered pain. Then peace came. Samuel opened his eyes. Later that day, Samuel sat in his office. The room was plain. David stood before him. "You want work," Samuel said. "Yes, sir," David replied. Samuel nodded. "I will give you work," he said. David looked up. "It will be small work," Samuel added. "You will learn first." David bowed. "Thank you," he said. Samuel waved his hand. "You may go," he said. David left. Samuel sat alone. He felt calm. Outside, the gate stood tall. It had seen pain. It had seen time. Now, it had seen change. Morning came slowly. The sun was soft. The estate was quiet. Birds made small sounds. Clean roads shined. Samuel walked through the estate gate. People greeted him with respect. "Good morning, sir," they said. Samuel nodded. He answered with a small smile. Inside the estate, the Okafor family stayed silent. Their new house was small, clean, simple. No big rooms, no loud music. Mrs. Okafor woke early. She swept the floor herself. Her back hurt. Her hands shook. She stopped and rested. "This life is heavy," she said softly. Mr. Okafor sat on a chair. He held his head. He thought about the past. No calls came. No workers waited. The house felt empty. David woke up early too. He wore plain clothes, old shoes. He looked at his hands. They were not soft anymore. He remembered the gate, the sun, the shame. He remembered Samuel's calm eyes. David walked to Samuel's office. His heart beat fast. Inside the office, everything was neat. Clean table, straight files. Samuel sat quietly. David stood near the door. He waited. Samuel looked up. "Yes?" he asked. David bowed his head. "I am ready to work," he said. Samuel nodded once. "You will start today," he said. He gave David small work. "Clean the office. Check the lights. Carry files." David nodded. "Yes, sir," he said. He worked slowly. He worked with care. Sweat came to his face. His hands hurt, but he did not complain. Samuel watched from far. He said nothing. At noon, Samuel called him. "Sit," he said. David sat down. He drank water. Samuel spoke slowly. "Work teaches more than words," he said. David nodded. "Yes, sir," he replied. That evening, David went home tired. At home, Mr. Okafor waited. "How was work?" he asked. David spoke honestly. "It was hard," he said, "but it was fair." Mr. Okafor stayed quiet. After a while, he spoke. "I was blind," he said. Mrs. Okafor nodded. "We were wrong," she said. Days passed quietly. David went to work every day. He learned to stand long. He learned to speak softly. He learned to respect guards. One evening, David saw a guard. The guard ate gari with water. David stopped. He remembered Samuel. Rain, cold night, pain filled his chest. David sat near the guard. "May I sit?" he asked. The guard smiled. "Yes," he said. They ate together. That night, David cried alone. Far away, Samuel stood by the gate. The same gate. He looked at it quietly. His heart felt light. The lesson had begun, and it would last long. The days moved forward. Life did not stop. Inside the estate, people watched the Okafor family. They saw change. Mr. Okafor no longer shouted. He spoke slowly. He greeted guards. Sometimes, he stopped to talk. Sometimes, he listened. Mrs. Okafor learned patience. She waited in lines. She carried small bags. She no longer pointed fingers. David changed the most. Every morning, he wore plain clothes. He went to work early. He stood at gates. He checked lights. He followed rules. Some guards laughed at him, just like he once laughed at Samuel. David felt the pain, but he stayed quiet. One hot afternoon, a guard fell sick. David helped him sit. He brought water. The guard looked surprised. "Thank you," the guard said. David nodded. He felt something break inside. Then something new grew. That evening, David returned home tired. Mr. Okafor watched him. "You look changed," he said. David sat down. "Yes," he replied. "I am learning." Mr. Okafor looked at the wall. "I had chances," he said. "I wasted them." Goes. "I have God by no." David stayed quiet. "I want to be better," Mr. Okafor added. David nodded. Across the estate, Samuel walked alone. He checked the gates. He watched the guards. Everything worked well. He stopped at one gate. The same kind of gate. He touched it softly. He remembered the past. Rain, cold, shame. Then he looked around. Order, respect, peace. A young guard walked up to him. "Sir?" The guard said, "Thank you for this job." Samuel smiled. "Do your work well," he said, "and respect everyone." "Yes, sir," the guard replied. Samuel walked on. That night, Samuel sat alone in his office. The lights were dim. He spoke softly to himself. "I did not win by hate," he said. "I won by patience." Outside, The estate slept in peace. The Okafor family slept too, not as kings, but as learners. David closed his eyes. He saw the gate again. He felt shame, but he also felt hope. Morning came again, another chance. Life had taught them all. Then the voice came, soft, clear. "My friend," the voice said, "never laugh at a man at the gate. You may see him as small. You may see him as nothing, but life turns fast. One day," the voice continued, "God may place the key in his hand. And when that day comes, you may stand outside, waiting, begging, hoping. So respect every man, respect every job, because the gate you pass today may be owned by the man you mocked. That is life. That is karma." You saw how Samuel stayed patient. You saw how life turned the table. If you believe respect can change destiny, then subscribe, like, and share this story. Remember, lever. Remember, lever liver. Lever liver. More powerful African. Lessons are waiting for you.